Hello everyone, it's Roz here, talking about my air conditioning system. I made a few videos earlier about how to troubleshoot it and get it going yourself if you want to try to tackle the problems with them. The Prostar, International Prostar air conditioning systems are horrible, the way they're programmed. You know, the AC system's not too bad, but the programming I think is terrible. It's just my opinion. I may be wrong, but it runs through the cabin controller on the truck, which is located under the steering wheel. On the left side there against the firewall behind the plastic panels, you know, near your clutch. And what it does is, the reason why I'm making this video is the last videos I mentioned several times that if the system faults, it will not reset. The air conditioner will not come back on until you either pull your truck over, stop on the side of the road, shut the truck off for 30-45 seconds, crank the truck back up and drive down the road. Well, if you're in city traffic and it faults out because it got a little too hot or something, you know, you're on a tight schedule, you're not going to pull off in the middle of the road. You're not going to pull off the highway. You're in the desert, you know, it's 123 degrees outside. It doesn't like the differential pressure on the two sensors out there. And it faults out, and you know, you're not going to stop. People aren't going to stop every time the air conditioning system has a little fault just to reset it. That's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's programmed horrible. Another driver that works for a company, he was playing with his air conditioning system, his company truck. He probably shouldn't have, but hey, he figured it out. Thank you, Marty, by the way. He figured out that if the system faults out, if your air conditioner is running, maybe it's not doing too good, maybe the sensors are old or the compressor's weak or something, and it faults out for some reason, you're going down the road, he figured out that you can reset the cab controller while you're going down the road. Basically, all you have to do is install an on-off switch in your dash, which I did a long time ago. I don't know if you want to zoom in on this and show these switches down here. This is, I got a few switches here, but this one here is an on-off switch, and that one is wired into my cab controller. And I'll show you over here, and come back up over here, and I'll show you how I wired it in. This guy figured this out, and I tried it, and it works fantastic. In the wiring, in the main fuse panel, you've got little green and red wires that are paired here and here on this set of fuses in the middle of the panel. There's 3 fuses right here. Now, if you look on the map for those fuses to make sure we're talking about the right one, this is block A, B, C, D, E, F. And if you look over here for A and B, the back fuse is fuse, I don't know if you want to zoom in a little bit, or you can read this.
Okay.
The back fuse is fuse F4-M. And what that fuse is it's the supply to the air conditioning circuits in the cabin controller. And if you look right here, F4-M is a 10 amp fuse. Okay, it comes on with the ignition, and it's called body controller / HVAC LPM, as in Mike, November as N-/icon, ICON. That fuse right there, if you this guy figured this out, and later on, he figured out to put a switch in, just put it in the dash. Well, what he was doing, he had his co-driver, when the AC would fault out and he was in the desert, he had his co-driver just pull this fuse out, and he would wait about 30-40 seconds, which is about the amount of time you need for that thing to reset, and he'd put it back in. And then eventually he just, came under here and said, okay, let's quit pulling the fuse, I want to be able to do it while I'm driving. So he cut the wires, and he put the 2 wires going from that he cut, the green and red wire goes up to that one fuse. They're paired together, going down to this circuit here. He cut it and ran the wire straight off over into his switch, on-off switch. So basically, you cut the wire pair, you put your switch in line with it. You wire your switch in line with it, and then you can turn it off. While you're going down the road, your air conditioner. What happens? You're going down the road, and your AC, it's not doing so good because it's super hot outside, and all of a sudden it faults out. It starts blowing hot air. So you just reach down, you're driving, you just reach down, flip the switch. You count off, half a mile going down the road, or 30-40 seconds in your head. You reach down there and flip that switch back up, and what you'll see is it controls more than just the air conditioner. It controls a couple of circuits. But it works fantastic for resetting the faults. It absolutely resets the faults. The air conditioner will come back on. If it can run, it will come back on and run. What it's going to do when you do that, though, you flip that switch, is you'll see in your dash, in the middle of your dash, you know, your gauge cluster up here, you'll see in your dash, you know, the little seatbelt light will come back on. You know, I don't have my truck on, so you'll see the little seatbelt light, it'll come back on as if you just cranked your truck. And so you'll see that seatbelt light come back on, it'll flash on for about 5 seconds and shut off again. You'll know that the cab controller got reset and all the faults got cleared for the air conditioner. I've had my truck wired this way for more than 2 years, since I discovered it, because I had AC problems early on, didn't know what to do about them. And I can tell you one thing, when you're in city traffic and that AC faults out, I mean, even when the AC working well, they'll still fault out sometimes. It's just so convenient to flip that switch. You know, you're still in traffic, you're paying attention to your road and everything. You don't have to pull over, you don't have to do anything crazy. You know, you just count off 30, 40 seconds, you flip the switch back up, you see the little light, you know, the little seatbelt light will flash on again, and all of a sudden you're in cold air again. I mean, that's an easy way to reset it. You're going to circumvent their horrible programming. If they had any decency about them, they would have made it automatically reset after 5 minutes or something, so you wouldn't have to do that yourself. But they don't, you know, and they don't think past their noses, because they don't think somebody has to go down the road for a living, you know, in these things in 140-degree weather, you know, inside the truck. So that's what I did. And I'm going to tell you something. I probably reset that thing 200 or 300 times. Doesn't hurt it a bit. Never saw any negative effects from doing it. And, you know, when I changed my sensors out, you know, my little sensors from my other video I showed, talked about those sensors and everything down there on the air conditioner. You know, I didn't have to do it nearly as often. When you're on a tight schedule, you don't want to be pulling over just to reset your air conditioner. I mean, you don't want to die of, you know, suffocation in your truck. I mean, you know, I think the year before last, I mean, we were going through Arizona. It was 119 degrees outside, and you know, I got a little temp gun. It was like the hottest day of the year or something there, and I got a little laser temp gun. You know, I told the wife, we pulled in the truck stop parking lot. I told the wife, I said, roll the window down. I shot the pavement. It was 141 degrees on the pavement in that truck stop. I think it was in Quartzsite, Arizona, like 2 years ago at the hottest day. I mean, imagine somebody having to try to sit in their truck and their air conditioner's faulting out, you know, or, you know, drive in that area. I mean, it's dangerous. I mean, you can die from no air conditioning. So, I mean, you know, you own your own truck, you want to circumvent that problem, make it where you can reset it if you have to, you know, then that's the way to do it. You just hook that little switch in, and you're good to go.